Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating and air, restoration, flood and remodeling services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Tonight, San Diego County is under a tropical storm watch for the first time in history. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Hurricane Hilary has strengthened to a Category 4 storm off of the coast of Baja California. The National Weather Service expects the hurricane to weaken as it moves north, but it's forecast to bring heavy rain and powerful winds Sunday into Monday. And we have team coverage on preparations underway across the county. And KPBS reporter Katie Hyson joins us now with how the city of San Diego is getting ready for the storm. Katie.
Maya, city staff say while the storm's impact is uncertain, it's better to be prepared. They're placing no parking signs in flood risk areas, especially crossings around the San Diego River. Crews are cleaning storm drains and inlets with a history of buildup and sweeping streets to keep trash from getting in the waterways. SDG&E says there will be more field crews and equipment ready to respond, but the company's CEO encouraged residents to prepare for the possibility of widespread, prolonged power outages. Outreach workers are encouraging people who are unhoused, especially those who live along the river, to take shelter at Golden Hall. Though the city has been working for days to prepare, Mayor Todd Gloria says it's a community-wide effort.
I want San Diegans to look at the team of folks behind me. We have incredible public servants who have been working for multiple days now to make sure that our city is prepared. They will continue to work over the next few days, again, to make sure that we're prepared. My ask of San Diegans is to prepare yourselves. Be a part of it.
City staff are asking residents to secure loose outdoor items and avoid traveling Sunday night and Monday morning if possible. Katie Hyson, KPBS News.
Powerful Hurricane Hilary continues to charge northwest. This storm is going to be a tremendously impactful storm for us in Southern California, across San Diego County later this weekend into early parts of the new week. Tropical storm watches have been issued here. Very, very unusual circumstance here with a tropical storm watch in effect for us in San Diego County. The greatest impact is going to be flooding rainfall, especially dangerous into the inland areas. We'll have more details on this complete forecast soon.
And the Coast Guard is closely monitoring Hilary and reminding everyone to stay off the water and clear of the beaches. It could be a particularly tough weekend in Imperial Beach as the storm moves north. KPBS environment reporter Eric Anderson explains.
The storm is already flexing as it moves north beside the Baja California Peninsula, bringing wind and rain to Mexico. And Hilary is on track to arrive in San Diego late Sunday or early Monday morning. City workers in Imperial Beach spent the day filling sandbags for residents.
We've gone through storms before, and we always plan for the worst case scenario, hoping that that doesn't happen. But, for this storm, we're looking at, hopefully by the time it gets to us, it's, either a tropical storm or less.
The low-lying community is not only at risk from rain and wind. Storm surge and waves along the coast will test armaments designed to protect homes, just like a winter storm did back in 2019. But stormy weather isn't the only concern.
Every single time we have more than 1/4 of an inch of rain, we have the river start to flow. All of the city of Tijuana's sewage infrastructure starts to collapse. And for us, it's just an additional source of harm to our community.
Untreated sewage and storm runoff from the Mexican city is expected to overwhelm the systems designed to control contaminated flows on the United States side of the border. That might mean some of the dirty water is diverted into the ocean without treatment.
It's an emergency situation for us, so we really have no choice. We don't want to compromise the integrity of the plant. Later on, if we take this flow, it's going to cause a lot of damage. I think in the longer run, we'd be worse off.
Homeowners have done what they can to protect their homes, but once the storm arrives, the ocean is going to be pushing waves over this sand berm. Those waves are going to sweep into the Tijuana estuary, and that estuary is going to be full of sewage. Eric Anderson, KPBS News.
More people across the county also spent part of the day filling up sandbags to protect their homes from flooding. They are available for free at 10 recreation centers in each San Diego City Council district. Sandbags are also offered at several fire stations in unincorporated areas of the county, including this one here in Fallbrook. But you have to bring your own shovel, and you can fill the bags yourself. Captain John Choi from North County Fire Protection says the better residents prepare, the faster emergency personnel can get to serious emergencies.
So the things that we're asking our community to do is start preparing for high volumes of water to impact their house. So clean your gutters, your downspouts, make sure that if you have any dead and dying trees around your house that could fall or be uprooted, that you mitigate that problem right now, because when those winds hit with those soft grounds, the likelihood of trees being toppled over is very, very high.
And you are advised to call your local fire stations ahead to check sandbag availability. Some locations are providing only the bags. You can find a list of locations on our website, kpbs.org. In East County, fire crews are still working to contain the Coyote Fire. CAL FIRE says around 460 acres have burned with 10% containment. KPBS reporter Matt Hoffman says the expected arrival of Hurricane Hilary this weekend could complicate operations there.
We're working around right now to make sure that it's safe for the people to go home.
In the rural community of Potrero, the Coyote Fire is still active. High winds and hot temperatures meant it quickly started spreading Thursday.
It was kind of a challenging firefight for firefighters, but we were able to slow the main fire spread down in the first day.
Fire crews are still out here. It's about midday. They're trying to get full containment on this fire. There's still some flare-ups and hot spots that they're trying to address. We know that about 78 homes were evacuated. They were threatened due to this fire. Now there's another concern for this area, and that's flooding from the hurricane.
Depending on how much rain there is, we're kind of concerned about maybe some generalized or localized flooding.
CAL FIRE officials say they're working on a mitigation plan, which may include creating some type of barriers to divert water away from homes. Rain would help put out what's left of the fire, but when vegetation is burned, water moves faster on the ground.
Floods quicker. And then if your terrain is steep enough and the burn is severe enough, you can also get mud and debris flows, like where rocks and logs and things like that come down. Fire scars don't like water, especially when they're fresh. They repel the water.
There's sand and sandbags at nearby fire stations. The Coyote Fire destroyed 2 structures, including 1 home. The cause is still under investigation. Matt Hoffman, KPBS News.
From retail to insurance, there's a lot to think about financially when it comes to the storm forecast for San Diego this weekend. SDSU's Mira Kopik has that part of the story in the Friday Business Report.
We have been warned, and what you're going to see is short term there is going to be a lot of activity in retailers. You're going to see it in supermarkets, in Home Depot, in places where there may be flash floods or concerns around erosion of soil erosion. The bigger issue is where is this, ultimately where the storm is going to hit is going to impact real estate in many different places. Could be along the coast, could be inland, but at the end of the day, you're going to see a huge surge in insurance claims after the storm because of damage. This comes at a very delicate time in California, as a lot of insurers are leaving the state in terms of providing home insurance. So that puts a lot of pressure on those who are still providing home insurance, and they may step out if the damage in San Diego is extraordinarily high. So it's going to be a wait and see, but certainly in the short term, some retailers are going to get a little bit of an increase in revenues over the next couple of days in anticipation. Hopefully the storm won't be as potentially damaging as the storm was in 1939 that hit San Diego last.
Citigroup is warning major hurricanes may also impact what you pay at the gas pump. According to AAA, the average price of gas in San Diego County rose to nearly $5.27 a gallon. The price spike has been driven by easing recession fears, production cuts in Russia and Saudi Arabia, and extreme heat. The heat could worsen hurricanes and further disrupt supply. The death toll in Maui is at 111, but expected to climb. Search crews have now covered about 45% of the 5 square mile burn zone. And as Laura Aguirre tells us, there's a change in the ranks of Maui's emergency management officials.
Do you regret not sounding the sirens?
I do not. So even if we sounded the siren, it would not have saved those people on the mountainside.
Herman Andaya is now Maui's former emergency management administrator. He resigned Thursday, citing his health, one day after he doubled down on reasons why warning sirens weren't used during the deadly wildfires.
It's an outdoor siren, so a lot of people who are indoors, air conditioning on, whatever the case may be, they're not going to hear the siren.
The unactivated sirens will be a focus of an upcoming investigation. Hawaii's Attorney General says she'll bring in a private third-party disaster response organization to fully assess what happened. The grim task of looking for fire victims rolls on, with authorities confirming that children are among the remains found so far. On the day the fires broke out, several Maui schools were closed for high winds and power outages, meaning many children were home alone.
A lot of kids who were there, but their parents weren't there, who were at work. And there was no warning, no nothing. It's heartbreaking.
This was our lanai. Jess Menina lost her home and business in the fires and is among many who are unhappy with the government's response.
I think there's a huge lack of communication. The people have rallied together far more than any government has so far.
We should stop at nothing to uncover every bit of truth and hold those accountable.
I'm Laura Aguirre for KPBS News.
An investigation is underway after a Marine was killed during live fire training at Camp Pendleton. The Marine was attending the School of Infantry on base. Officials say it happened during last night's training exercises, but released no further information. Camp Pendleton School of Infantry is the first stop for many Marines after graduating boot camp in San Diego.
I'm Jeff Bennett. Tonight on the NewsHour, vast areas of Canada burn while Maui continues its recovery. The very latest tonight at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
Well, summer vacation is just about over for students in San Diego Unified. They head back to school on Monday. Superintendent Dr. Lamont Jackson sat down with KPBS education reporter MG Perez for a one-on-one interview and for a preview of the new school year.
Everyone has their own memories of the first day of school.
The new backpack, the new pencils. There was some excitement around that and some nervousness.
San Diego Unified District Superintendent Dr. Lamont Jackson is ready to welcome back students for the fall semester. He tells us their mental health is his first priority.
I think we're doing a much better job of exposing individuals, human beings, to what they have been suffering with in silence. And it's much more public. And with that comes self-referrals, right? So we're getting more referrals, students articulating what they're feeling.
The district is hiring more counselors. Teachers are returning to the classroom this semester with a historic 15% pay raise over the next 2 years. Just one highlight that came from negotiations that dragged on for more than a year.
What did that negotiation do for the relationship and the trust? And quite frankly, how'd you get there? 15% is a significant pay increase.
They deserve that and more, and we have said we want to be the highest paying district in this county, and we are very proud of our 100% benefits package that we have. You said it best. It's trust with labor partners, but at the core, it's a belief that our educators, our staff members deserve it.
This year, there will be a significant increase in the number of campuses now designated as community schools.
What is a community school?
When I was hired as a superintendent, the community spoke, and the community said we need to support the whole child. It's about bringing the resources of the community into the school as a hub. So when you talk about mental health, you have supports there. When you talk about physical health, we have clinics, on-site clinics. If you look at Hoover, they have dental, medical facilities right on campus.
With the help of community organizations, private business, and state funding, San Diego Unified goes from just 5 community schools to 15 community school campuses across the district this fall. And then there is the much-anticipated guaranteed arts funding for every public school in California. Voters approved Prop 28 last November, which is expected to provide up to $1 billion from the state budget every year.
We're going to hire more educators, and we're going to have more programs. We're going to get instruments into the hands of our children.
Dr. Jackson and his wife did have a brief summer vacation to Maui. Their flight back home to San Diego took off just hours before the first fires started, leaving him bittersweet.
We enjoyed that. But, you know, my other thought was, gosh, I want to go back and I want to help. I even had a crazy thought that we could do some hybrid learning and offer to the schools to zoom in to some learning here. Devastating because of the history and because of like the Ohana spirit, right? Like this is what we do, we help out. And those who helped the most lost the most, and it's sad. So you asked me about vacation. I got away for a few days, but I returned with a heavy heart.
MG Perez, KPBS News.
And you can hear MG's full interview with Dr. Jackson on KPBS Midday Edition, Monday at noon. Major League Baseball isn't taking any chances with the forecast. Sunday's game at Petco Park has been moved to Saturday, and that means the Padres will play a split doubleheader against the Arizona Diamondbacks. First game is at 12:10 p.m., the second at 5:40 p.m. If you have tickets for Sunday's game, you can use them for the early game on Saturday.
We have huge concerns locally with Hurricane Hilary approaching from the south. Now, Hurricane Hilary will not be a hurricane when it reaches us, but it will bring tremendous rainfall to Southern California. Dangerous flooding will be a huge story for inland areas. A tropical storm watch is in effect for us here in San Diego, and also into Orange County and all the way up to the coast in Los Angeles County as well. Dangerous flooding will begin this weekend, and we're going to have the most significant and life-threatening danger tied to this flooding in inland areas. 4 to 8 inches of rain for inland parts of San Diego County. A very concentric storm here. You can see a very well-defined eye. This went from a tropical storm to a Category 4 storm in 24 hours. Rapid intensification occurred. Hurricane warnings in effect for parts of the Baja California Peninsula. There is our local tropical storm watch as issued by the National Hurricane Center for all of San Diego County, right up the coast to Los Angeles. So we're expecting this to come north-northwest, high pressure over the plains, a trough to the west, drawing this through an unusual path. It usually hooks west, like we saw last year with Kay, for example. But this one's going to be one that makes landfall between Tijuana and Los Angeles as either a tropical storm or tropical depression. Significant tropical rainfall is going to be a big story here. We're looking at this transitioning into a storm that gradually will lose its wind energy to some extent. We're not going to see a Category 4 hurricane come into Southern California, but we will see dangerous flooding tied to the system despite the lack of wind energy because of that cooler water chilling this system down a bit. But still, the rainfall will be a huge, huge danger this weekend into early parts of the week. Clouds increase tonight, 67 for your low. Here are the showers and thunderstorms beginning to emerge by 5 or 6 or 7 p.m. We'll begin to see some of that into San Diego on Saturday evening. The wind will be gusty, though. I don't want to downplay the wind too much, but again, from where we are as a Category 4 hurricane, we're going to see the wind energy decrease. Inland areas in the mountains, though, the canyons, the passes, could see gusts of 60 to 80 miles per hour, 40 to 60 mile per hour gusts for the coast and for the deserts as well. This is a very important graphic to show you here. Futurecast showing the showers and storms beginning on Saturday morning in the inland areas. In the evening, that'll begin to rain more significantly into San Diego, and Sunday a washout. Not a good day to travel. Sunday and Monday very, very wet. We're looking at 2 to 4 inches of rain for San Diego. Anaheim 2 to 4 inches. Palm Springs 4 to 8 inches of rain. tremendous rainfall. That's going to lead to a high risk to lives and property here. A huge problem for the inland portions of Southern California. This storm will have an AccuWeather real impact scale rating of 2. That means it's going to have a big damaging toll when it comes to flooding and infrastructure damaged or destroyed, some road washouts, bridges, and so forth in inland areas. Some of the dry washes will become raging rivers Sunday and Monday. Coastal forecast, you can see wind, rain, very humid out there. Inland areas, wind and rain, very humid as well. It's a Sunday, Monday event for us for the worst of this. Mountainous areas, we deal with the same wind and rain. Heavy thunderstorms possible on the front end of the Saturday. The deserts, certainly nothing desert-like here. We're going to be dealing with drenching thunderstorms Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I'm meteorologist Jeff Cornish for KPBS News.
As we continue to watch the weather, thousands of students are preparing to go back to school on Monday. The San Diego Community College District has been especially aggressive in its marketing effort to get back adult students this fall. KPBS education reporter MG Perez has more on that.
If you're looking for a sign, this might be it. Look closer. It's not a sales pitch for tacos. The billboard is selling San Diego community colleges. The district is also flooding social media with a $600,000 marketing campaign to get the attention of adult students who left school during COVID and never came back.
It's lighthearted. It plays on San Diego institutions. And we did focus groups and research that showed this is the type of campaign that adult learners would like to see.
So this messaging is for students 25 to 45 years old. They made up 60% of the loss in enrollment the past 3 years. Okay, let's go the other way. San Diego City College hosted a cruising campaign this afternoon. Lowriders and a free lunch to attract students just out of high school.
We have calculators that you can check out at our circulation desk.
These students were accepted into the district's Promise program this fall. Over 1,000 of them began their city community college education with a campus tour and orientation. They attend with a promise from the school to give free tuition, funding for textbooks, counseling, and other support to help in academic success. They come from marginalized communities with high hopes and anticipation.
I am a second generation going into college, and I know what to expect because my parents explained it to me, but it's still so nerve-wracking because it's a new experience.
Well, right now I feel like I have more support around me, so I could probably seek for more help. I could talk with the staff more, you know, make more friends.
The message is clear for the new school year. MG Perez, KPBS News.
And here's another look at today's top stories. A tropical storm watch is in effect with Hurricane Hilary on track to weaken before arriving in San Diego on Sunday. People living in Imperial Beach spent the day making preparations for the storm. City workers filled sandbags for residents. The community is not only at risk from rain and wind, but untreated sewage runoff from Tijuana could be diverted into the ocean as well. And crews are still working to contain the Coyote Fire in the East County. It's burned 466 acres and is 10% contained. About 78 homes were evacuated in the rural community of Potrero. The fire destroyed one home and one other building. Now, with the storm coming, there are concerns about flooding and mudslides. CAL FIRE says they're creating barriers to divert water away from homes. You can find all of our Hurricane Hilary coverage online at kpbs.org. We also have links to emergency resources as well as some safety information to help you prepare for the storm. Just click on the banner that you'll find on our homepage. The movies may be a popular place this weekend. With the rain we're expecting, DC has a new superhero film opening, and KPBS film critic Beth Accomando says Blue Beetle is actually fun.
You're a genius.
What? I know. What'd I say?
You said this thing isn't going to protect me, right? It's not going to let me die?
No, I mean, die.
All right, let's see if it works.
I wouldn't test it.
DC's Blue Beetle arrives with a refreshing playfulness that's welcome after the doom and gloom of its Snyderverse and the slog of The Flash earlier this year. DC is positioning Blue Beetle as the first Latino superhero from a Hollywood studio.
You are a superhero, cabrón.
Yeah, but I'd argue Marvel's Miles Morales of the animated Spider-Verse deserves that title. But props to DC for giving us a live-action version and putting him in the hands of young Latino filmmakers. The story involves Jaime Reyes and a blue beetle that's taking over his body.
Okay, what the hell is this thing?
It's called the Scarab. It was given to my dad when I was a kid. It's some kind of a world-destroying weapon.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow.
Nice.
And did you know what was going to happen to my brother when you stuck him with this world-destroying thing?
No, I swear to you, I had no idea this would happen. I mean, come on. My father said it can't be activated by just any person. It has to choose you.
And it chooses Jaime, and that means his whole family gets involved.
Good luck trying to hide a secret from your mom in a Latino household. They always know. And we kind of like embrace that. So this made it for a very unique journey where the family is part of the adventure. Not somebody, not a group of people or an object of rescue, but on the contrary, an integral part of the construct of this superhero.
Blue Beetle is sometimes silly and derivative, but it also has genuine heart and provides an engaging cultural context for the characters. So while Blue Beetle has to fight evil corporations, Jaime has to deal with real-world problems.
You finished scraping the gum off that lounger or what?
About finding a job and preventing his parents from getting evicted from their house. But most important for a summer flick, Blue Beetle delivers a fun time at the cinema for everyone.
Nana, I advise we back away.
Beth Accomando, KPBS News.
Well, that does look like fun. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Good night.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating and air, restoration, flood and remodeling services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit BillHowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley. And by the following: by viewers like you. Thank you.